Hi, good evening. I'm going to talk about a few things here. We've got latent alcohol, a few personal things, a few general things, and a few quite startling figures, actually. As we're probably all aware, alcohol is a killer. It causes many medical issues, including cancers, heart disease, kidney problems, liver disease, which, strangely enough, only affects 15% of alcoholics. At the moment, estimated figures are about between 1.7 to 2 million people are drinking at dangerously high levels, and over 600,000 are classed as alcohol dependent, physically and chemically dependent, which is a massive figure. Out of all the people that are heavy drinkers, problem drinkers, and want to stop alcohol in their lives and want to quit, only 10% of people will actually seek help. Now, another surprise to me was to find out that only 1 out of those 10 will actually make it to long-term sobriety. So why not make that person you? And it can be done, because I'm living proof of it, and I'm here to try and help you. Now, a lot of people don't seek help because they're ashamed. They don't want to admit the fact they're in denial, all that sort of thing. Some people that do seek help are often told, quit alcohol, and go to meetings. I don't mean that to sound flippant, but that's what people's general advice is. Oh, you can stop drinking. Even the GPs will say, why didn't you try this meeting? Why didn't you try this mental health group? All this sort of thing. Well, that didn't help me at all. Because you've got to want to change. You have to change as a person, and that's the hard bit, really. But I remember when I was about a year into this hospitalisation carry-on, I was getting depressed, to be fair. Never been depressed before until then. I was always seemed to be in hospital, in ambulances, backwards and forwards, and little procedures. And I told my daughter I was feeling depressed. And she said, have you told the doctor? I said, oh, no, I haven't told the doctor. I was embarrassed, really. He said, well, you must tell the doctor. This particular day I went on a Sunday, and for some reason, it was still COVID, and COVID was pretty rife at that time. I was on the hospital trolley for 10 hours with severe pain, actually, but I'm not going to, it wasn't the NHS's fault, because they've done me a massive service and they saved my life, but it was just because of COVID and other incidents that were happening at the time. It took a long time to get seen. I was getting more and more just down, I suppose. Eventually got seen by a doctor, and I said, I'm going to have to tell you something. My daughter told me I should advise you. And she said, what's that? I said, look, I'm really depressed. Really at the bottom here. And then she sort of said, well, do you have any children? So I mentioned my daughter. We're very close. And she said, well, surely she's a reason to be positive and to keep living. And that sort of changed my mindset a bit. And I thought, yeah, that's a good point. Although I thought that myself, when you've got somebody else who's professional telling you that, then you've got to focus on getting well, haven't you? And later on that night, another female doctor came in at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was put in this little room on my own. And she said the same thing, try and be positive. Because she said, do you want to change? And I said, of course I want to change. I don't want to be in this state. And that's hard to deal with at the time, because she said you've got to change as a person. And you have got to do that. It's not easy, but you've got to focus on the future, because when I was down at the bottom of the bottle, as it were, I could see no future. It was a very dark, black place to be in, and it was a dreadful time of my life. Unfortunately, I pulled through it. But on a more general point regarding alcohol as it stands, even on a political level, politicians get very excited about any new drug that comes along, an illegal drug. All this illegal stuff coming along, isn't it? This is illegal, that's illegal. It deflects from alcohol, which is purely legal. It's everywhere, it's normalised, and it kills more people than any drug that I've ever heard of. And it harms families. I mean, I would be surprised if I would say every family in this country knows somebody who's been affected by alcohol, either in some form of maybe drink drive, some car accident, some violence they've been involved in, some other minor criminal activity they've been involved in, or been the victim of crime due to alcohol. So there's all these other social issues built into this sort of thing. You know, the high street that gets rowdy on a Saturday night, all this sort of thing. But getting back to the change bit again, sort of jump around here. You need to be willing to change. And when you've got this in your psyche, you think, well, I'm going to change. I'm going to look to the future, because, as I've said, when you're drinking all the time, there is no future. Drinking heavily is hard work. It's hard work to drink, to function, to live, to hide and be secretive, just to afford it as well. It's a hard life. It's not easy being an alcoholic or being drink dependent or even very, very heavy drinker. There's 2 million people around this country. So you've got to choose a healthy lifestyle. You've got to change your mindset, do some research, contact people. And I'm trying to contact a lot of people are contacting me. I'm trying to keep in touch with everybody. And we should, as a group, work together on this. And if people have got any comments and suggestions, then do get in touch. But think of the future. Think of your family. Think of your loved ones. Even if you're on your own, think of yourself. Think what a better life you can have when you're alcohol free, because it is a wonderful world. And on that note, I shall leave you. And obviously subscribe and share these videos if they're doing you any good. You're getting some information out of them. I'll leave it for now.